I did say that I would read the whole book, so I am going to. Don't believe everything you think. If you don't know where we are, go back and watch part one, which I believe is like 2 videos before this, and then come back to this one. You'll be right on track with us. This is part two. Who would you be without the thought that you hated your job? Take 1 minute to see what comes up for you, and don't move on until you do that. If you don't overthink it and truly let the answer surface from within you without that thought, you will most likely feel happy, peaceful, free, and light. Without our usual thinking about a particular event or thing, our experience of it completely alters. This is how we live in a world of thought, not reality, and how our perception of reality is created from the inside out through our own thinking. With this new understanding, you've just uncovered the cause of all our human psychological suffering. The root cause of our suffering is our own thinking. Before you throw this book across the room and light it on fire, I'm going to say that this is all in our heads and isn't real. Our perception of reality is very real. We will feel what we think, and our feelings are real. That is completely undeniable. However, our thinking will look like an inevitable, unchangeable reality until we begin seeing how our reality is created. If we know that we can only ever feel what we are thinking, then when we change our feelings by changing our thinking, thus we can change our experience of life by knowing what comes from our own thinking. And if that is true, we are ever only one thought away from experiencing something different and transforming our entire lives at any moment through a state of no thought. In short, the moment we stop thinking is when our happiness begins. The Young Monk and the Empty Boat, a Zen story about how our thinking is the cause of our own suffering. A long time ago, a young Zen monk lived in a small monastery in a forest near a small lake. A few senior monks occupied the monastery. While the rest were newcomers and still had much to learn, the monks had many obligations in the monastery. But one of the most important ones was their daily routine, where they had to sit down, close their eyes, and meditate in silence for hours at a time. After each meditation, they had to report their progress to their mentor. The young monk had difficulty staying focused during his meditation practice for various reasons, which made him very mad. After the young monk reported his progress to his mentor, the elder monk asked a simple question with a hidden lesson. Do you know what is really making you angry? The young monk replied, well, usually, as soon as I start to close my eyes and meditate, someone is moving around and I can't focus. I get agitated that someone is disturbing me even though they know I am meditating. How can they not be more considerate? And then, when I close my eyes again and try to focus, a cat or a small animal might brush past and disturb me again. By this point, even when the wind blows and the tree branches make noise, I get angry. If that is not enough, the birds keep on chirping, and I can't seem to find any peace in any place. The elder monk simply pointed out to his pupil, I see that you became angrier with each interruption you encounter. This is exactly the opposite of what the point of your task is when meditating. You should find a way not to get angry with people, animals, or anything around you that disturbs you during your task. After their consultation, the young monk went out of the monastery and looked around to find a place that would be quieter so that he could meditate peacefully. He found such a place at the shore of the lake that is nearby. He brought his mat, sat down, and started meditating. But soon a flock of birds splashed down in the lake near where the monk was meditating. Hearing their noise, the monk opened his eyes to see what was happening. Although the bank of the lake was quieter than the monastery, things would still disturb his peace, and he got angry again. Even though he didn't find the peace he was looking for, he kept returning to the lake. Then one day the monk saw a boat tied at the end of the small pier, and right then an idea hit him. Why don't I take the boat, row it down to the middle of the lake, and meditate there? In the middle of the lake there will be nothing to disturb me. He rowed the boat to the middle of the lake and started meditating. As he had expected, there was nothing in the middle of the lake to disturb him, and when he was able to meditate the whole day, at the end of the day, he returned to the monastery. This continued for a few days, and the monk was thrilled that he had finally found a place to meditate in peace. He didn't feel angry and could calmly continue the meditation practice. On the third day, the monk sat in the boat, rowed to the middle of the lake, and started meditating again. A few minutes later, he heard water splashing and felt the boat was rocking. He started getting upset, and even in the middle of the lake, someone or something was disturbing him. Opening his eyes, he saw a boat heading straight towards him. He shouted, steer your boat away or you will hit my boat. But the other boat kept coming directly at him and was just a few feet away. He yelled again, but nothing changed. And so the incoming boat hit the monk's boat. Now he was furious. He screamed, "Who are you, and why have you hit my boat in the middle of this vast lake?" There was no answer. This made the young monk even angrier. He stood up to see who was in the other boat, and to his surprise, he found no one in the boat. The boat had probably drifted along the breeze and had bumped into the monk's boat. The monk found his anger dissipating. It was just an empty boat. There was no one to get angry at. At that moment, he remembered his mentor's question, "Do you know what is really making you angry?" And then wondered, "It's not other people, situations, or circumstances. It's not the empty boat, but my reaction to it that causes my anger. All the people or situations that make me upset and angry are like the empty boat. They don't have the power to make me angry without my own reaction." The monk then rowed the boat back to the shore. He returned to the monastery and started meditating along with the other monks. There were still noises and disturbances, but the monk treated them as the empty boat and continued meditating peacefully. When the elder monk saw the difference, he said to the young monk, "I see that you have found what is really making you angry and overcame that." Chapter 3. Why do we think? I think and think and think. I've thought myself out of happiness 1,000,000 times, but never once into it. Jonathan Safran Foer. As humans, we have evolved to develop a sophisticated ability to rationalize, analyze, and think because it simply helps us survive. Our minds do an incredible job of keeping us alive, but it does not allow us to thrive. It is concerned solely with our safety and survival, not fulfillment or joy. The mind's job is to alert us of potential dangers in our environment that may threaten our lives. It does its job so well that not only will it scan for immediate surroundings for threats, but it will even reference our backlog of past experiences to create hypothetical scenarios and predict what it thinks could be future potential dangers based on our memories. None of this is wrong by any means. The mind is simply doing what it is designed to do. When we don't understand that its only duty is to help us survive, then we get angry and frustrated with it. All conflict is derived from an innocent misunderstanding. Our mind's duty is to help keep us alive. Our consciousness duty is to help us feel fulfilled. Your soul is the reason why you're even on this journey in the first place, to find peace, love, and joy for yourself. Your mind has done an amazing job at what it was made to do. But now you may relieve it of its job because we no longer live in the wild where death could be around any corner in a bush. If we keep using our minds, we will constantly stay in a state of fight or flight, anxiety, fear, frustration, depression, anger, resentment, and all negative emotions, because the mind thinks everything is a threat to every existence. If you want to be free, happy, peaceful, and full of love, then you will need to let go of listening only to your mind and go beyond it by tuning into something much greater that will help you not just to survive, but to thrive. Chapter 4. Thoughts versus Thinking. Stop thinking and end your problems. Lao Tzu. Thoughts are the energetic, mental, raw materials we use to create everything in the world. It's important to know that thoughts are a noun and aren't something that we do, but something we have. A thought takes no effort or force on our end, and it is something that just happens. We also cannot control what thoughts pop into our minds. The source of thoughts come from something beyond our minds, the universe, if you will. Thinking, on the other hand, is the act of thinking about our thoughts. This takes a significant amount of energy, effort, and willpower, which is a finite resource. Thinking is actively engaging in the thoughts in your mind. You don't have to engage with each thought in your mind, but when you do, that is thinking. Thinking is the root cause of all our psychological suffering. Now, you might wonder, where do positive thoughts fit into the picture? Positive thoughts, or thoughts that feel good, do not result from thinking. They are instead generated by our natural state of peace, love, and joy. They are a product of a state of being, not a state of thinking. We will go into depth about this in the next chapter. For now, let's do a quick experiment. I'll ask you a question, and all you need to do is be aware. That was part 2. If you are enjoying this, please comment and let me know. I will continue to read this, but let me know if you're liking it.